Good morning, ladies and gents. So today I wanted to briefly go over this passage for us. I wanted to read it out loud for you so you'll at least be able to hear it as we go through it. So this passage is called The Case for Short Words. This is from a book called The Miracle of Language by Richard Lederer. So let's go ahead and go through this passage. Hopefully hearing it out loud will help you understand it better, and especially so that you can use that Mailcon format whenever you're going through the questions attached to this work. Let's go and get started. Paragraph 1. When you speak and write, there is no law that says you have to use big words. Short words are as good as long ones, and short old words like sun and grass and home are best of all. A lot of small words, more than you might think, can meet your needs with a strength, grace, and charm that large words do not have. Big words can make the way dark for those who read what you write and hear what you say. Small words cast their clear light on big things, night and day, love and hate, war and peace, and life and death. Big words at times seem strange to the eye, and the ear, and the mind, and the heart. Small words are the ones we seem to have known from the time we were born, like the hearth fire that warms the home. Short words are bright like sparks that glow in the night, prompt like the dawn that greets the day, sharp like the blade of a knife, hot like salt tears that scald the cheek, quick like moths that flit from flame to flame, and terse like the dart and sting of a bee. So he's talking about how short words are. He uses a lot of metaphors and similes to kind of get this idea of words, and how small words can be just as powerful as large words. But let's keep going to paragraph 4. Here is a sound rule. Use small words where you can. If a long word says just what you want to say, do not fear to use it. But know that our tongue is rich in crisp, brisk, swift, short words. Make them the spine and the heart of what you speak and write. Short words are like fast friends. They will not let you down. Now here's the thing that you probably did not notice. Throughout all of this, and he is talking about how small words can be just as powerful as large words. He's using a lot of colorful language. He's still informing us about this topic. Look at paragraph 5. The title of this chapter and the 4 paragraphs that you have just read are wrought entirely of words of one syllable. That means every single word that we've read up to this point, up to paragraph 5, has just one syllable words. Those are short, tiny, powerful words. He got amazingly far without using any multi-syllable words or polysyllabic words. So words with a lot of syllables in them, long words. In setting myself this task, I did not feel especially cabined, cribbed, or confined. Notice there he's switching to words with multiple syllables. Cabined, cribbed, confined. In fact, the structure helped me to focus on the power of the message I was trying to put across. So be aware of that. Using short, small words you're more probably comfortable with, is really useful. You can get just as much across, you just have to use the words effectively. It can really help you focus when you use small, strong words instead of large words that can get kind of confusing. But I digress. Let's continue with paragraph 6. One study shows that 20 words account for 25% of all spoken English words, and all 20 are monosyllabic, or they have one syllable. Mono means one, syllabic means are syllables. So there's one syllable in each of these words. In order of frequency, they are I, you, thee, a, to, is, it, that, of, and, in, what, he, this, have, do, she, not, on, and they. So all of those have one syllable to them. And they're the most common words in the English language, apparently. Other studies indicate that the 50 most common words in written English are each made of a single syllable. For centuries, our finest poets and orators have recognized and employed the power of small words to make a straight point between two minds. A great many of our proverbs punch home their points with pithy monosyllables. Pithy being short and to the point. Monosyllables, we kind of go on over that with monosyllabic. It's one word or one syllable words. Where there's a will, there's a way. Notice there how very short and to the point each word is. A stitch in time saves 9. Again, we have all monosyllabic words. Spare the rod and spoil the child. Again, monosyllabic words. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. All these old, very old, pithy proverbs or lessons that we're supposed to learn are really short and to the point, and they utilize really small words. Paragraph 8. Nobody used the short word more skillfully than William Shakespeare, whose dying King Lear laments. So one of Shakespeare's characters, his name is King Lear, he is making this statement. And it's a really powerful statement, and it's using all short, small words. And my poor fool is hanged. No life. Why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life, and thou no breath at all? Do you see this? Look on her. Look, her lips. Look there, look there. Shakespeare's contemporary, so you can get passion and feeling out of just simple short words, just as much as you can with long words. Short words have just as much power to them if you use them correctly. Continuing on with paragraph 9, though, talking about this statement, Shakespeare's contemporaries, or the people who lived during that time and wrote about Shakespeare, made the King James Bible a centerpiece of short words. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. The descendants of such mighty lions have lived on in the 20th century. When asked to explain his policy to Parliament, so continuing on from there, this idea of small words being powerful has continued on even to today's time. Something as simple as just around 60 years ago or so, we have Winston Churchill responded with these ringing monosyllables. So to get his point across about his new law he wanted to make in Parliament, Winston Churchill said these words: "I will say, it is to wage war by sea, land, and air with all our might and with all the strength that God can give us." In his Death of the Hired Man, Robert Frost, who is a poet, observes that home is the place where, when you have to go there, they have to take you in. And William H. Johnson uses 10 two-letter words to explain his secret of success. If it is to be, it is up to me. Short, powerful, small words are great to use when you have a point you want to get across. Just like whenever we are writing and answering today, we're using the mail-con format because it's a good, strong way to get information across. It's short and to the point. It has all the details you need in it. Small words are extremely important, not just for us as English teachers, but us as a nation and as a people. English speakers, we use naturally short, powerful words. And because I think it's because there are words that everyone perfectly understands, generally speaking. So that's why we tend to use them. Let's keep that in mind as we continue on with the rest of paragraph 10. You don't have to be a great author, statesman, or philosopher to tap the energy and eloquence of small words. Each winter, I ask my 9th graders at St. Paul's School to write a composition composed entirely of one-syllable words. My students greet my request with obligatory moans and groans. But when they return to class with their essays, most feel that with the pressure to produce high-sounding polysyllables relieved, they have created some of their most powerful and luminous prose. Here are submissions from 2 of my 9th graders. Some of those words I know were a little bit confusing, especially. Let's go over that. My students greet my request with obligatory, so they almost like you have to respond in a way. It's an obligation, with moans and groans, as many of y'all do when we ask you to do work. But when they return to class with their essays, most feel that with the pressure to produce high-sounding polysyllables, or words with multiple syllables in it, poly being multiple of something. So without the need to make themselves sound like they're super fancy with these big, long $10 words, they feel that they have been able to actually produce better work. They're more focused because they're focused on what is each word trying to get across, not can I sound really important and really smart. That's not really necessarily a need. If you can get your point across well with short words, then that's perfectly fine. To quote one of my favorite characters from The Office, why use many word when few word do trick? That being said, though, don't use that all the time. Let's continue on the reading with paragraph 10 here, with how did these students respond? So this is written by the ninth grader, Charles Schaefer. This is his essay, his monosyllabic essay, or all these words have one syllable in them. What can you say to a boy who has left home? You can say that he has done wrong, but he does not care. He has left home so that he will not have to deal with what you say. He wants to go as far as he can. He will do what he wants to do. This boy does not want to be forced to go to church, to comb his hair, or to be on time. A good time for this boy does not lie in your reach, for what you have he does not want. He dreams of ripped jeans, shorts, and with no starch, and old socks. So now this boy is on a bus to a place he dreams of, a place with no rules. This boy now walks a strange street, his long hair blown back by the wind. He wears no coat or tie, just jeans and an old shirt. He hates your world, and he has left it. That's a really well-written, powerful little essay, a little brief comment, essentially. It's a great statement that he just made. Let's continue on now with Celia Wren. I'm guessing, or you may correct me or make fun of me on that one. I'm sorry, Celia. For a long time, we cruised by the coast and at last came to a wide bay past the curve of a hill, at the end of which lay a small town, setting up a pretty basic story. Our long boat ride at an end, we all stretched and stood up to watch as the boat nosed its way in. The town climbed up the hill that rose from the shore, a space in front of it left bare for the port. Each house was a clean white with sky blue or gray trim. In front of each one was a small yard edged by a white stone wall strewn with green vines. As the town basked in the heat of noon, not a thing stirred in the streets or by the shore. The sun beat down on the sea, the land, and the back of our necks, so that in spite of the breeze that made the vines sway, we all wished we could hide from the glare in a cool white house. But as there was no one to help dock the boat, we had to stand and wait. At last the head of the crew leaped from the side and strode to a large house on the right. He shoved the door wide, poked his head through the gloom, and roared with a fierce voice. 5 or 6 men came out, and soon the port was loud with the clank of chains and creaks of planks as the men caught ropes thrown by the crew, pulled them taut, and tied them to posts. Then they set up a rough plank so we could cross from the deck to the shore. We all made for the large house while the crew watched, glad to be rid of us. So notice there that power. That's an awesome little story that apparently she is starting, and it's all in single syllable words. That's all we need. We see all the different colors. We can imagine all the things that are happening in this little story, but it's not with difficult language. We don't have this crazy long word that we need to understand and break down and figure out. We have these basic small words that are just as powerful. Let's finish up with paragraph 11. You too, that means you even sitting there, can tap into the vitality and vigor of compact expression, of small words, compact expression. Take a suggestion from the highway department. At the boundaries of your speech and prose, place a sign that reads, "Caution, small words at work." So whenever you are trying to understand something or trying to even write something down to explain to someone else, think about the power of small words, of how to get your point across the most efficient way possible for everyone to understand you. Could not just be a massive long word, but it could be a small, tiny word. So go ahead, ladies and gents, and continue on with the work for today and answering the questions I have for you after in the next portion of the day, which should be the power of small words assessment or assignment. The case for short words assignment after this page. All right, ladies and gents, y'all have a good day.